Coach Vig. I'm a music producer and a member of the band Garbage. This is my home studio, Grunge is Dead. I'm glad you're here in the studio.
Good afternoon. My name is Godfrey Bahigwa. I'm the Director of Agriculture and Rural Development of the African Union Commission. Welcome to this first high-level learning event for food systems resilience in Eastern and Southern Africa, the Ministerial segment. Over the last 2.5 days, we have had a lot of intense technical discussions. Now we have reached at the climax of this event where we have honorable ministers among us. I bring you greetings from Her Excellency Ambassador Joseph Asako, the Commissioner for Agriculture, Rural Development, Blue Economy and Sustainable Environment of the AU Commission, who would have loved to be here to welcome you, but is unable to do so because of previous commitments, especially issues to do with the transition from the current commission to the new commission that will take over next week. So all our principals are busy preparing for the transition. So she sends you regards and wishes you fruitful deliberations. I wish to welcome honorable ministers among us. Honorable Samuel Daliso Kawale, Minister of Agriculture from Malawi. Mr. Ramindo Gaitan, Secretary General and Chairman FSRP Madagascar Steering Committee, Madagascar, and is also the Minister of Agriculture. Honorable Ibrahim Elmi Mohamed, Secretary General, Minister of Agriculture, Republic of Djibouti. Honorable Bright Rwamirama, Minister of State for Animal Industry in the Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Republic of Uganda. Honorable Ibrahim Tanimu, representing the Minister of Agriculture of Nigeria. Honorable Fry Kwame Andre, Deputy Chief of Staff representing the Minister of Agriculture, Cote d'Ivoire. Honorable Assad Abdulaziz Mohammed, State Minister for Agriculture and Irrigation from the Republic of Somalia. Honorable Dr. Grima Amente, Minister of Agriculture of the Federal Democratic Republic of or before I proceed, I understand we have translation, so interpretation. So if you need to, if you're not comfortable with English, please access the device in front of you and access interpretation in the language of your preference. It is my honor to welcome you to the African Union headquarters on behalf of Her Excellency Ambassador Joseph Asako, the Commissioner of Agriculture, Rural Development, Blue Economy, and Sustainable Environment. Today we gather to advance our collective efforts in promoting agricultural transformation to build resilient and sustainable food systems across our continent. As you are all aware, the World Bank is supporting the implementation of the Food Systems Resilience Program in Eastern and Southern Africa to improve the resilience of food systems in this region against various shocks, including climate change. The project interventions are implemented at continental, regional, and national levels. The African Union Commission and ODA NEPAD are the two continental organizations. The Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, and the Center for Coordination of Agricultural Research and Development of Southern Africa, CADESA, are the two regional organizations. At the national level, FSRP is currently supporting 7 countries, and those are Ethiopia, Madagascar, Tanzania, Kenya, Somalia, Malawi, and Comoros. Your presence here today is testament to your interest and commitment towards the implementation of FSRP activities in your respective countries and regions. The FSRP is a key initiative aiming to increase the resilience of food systems and preparedness against food insecurity in participating countries in our region. Through this program, we are working to rebuild agricultural production capacity, support sustainable development of natural resources, enhance market access, and promote greater focus on food systems resilience in national and regional policy making. I would like to highlight the African Union's commitment to achieving the aspirations of our Agenda 2063, which prioritizes inclusive and sustainable socioeconomic development and agricultural modernization. Our focus on agricultural development and food systems resilience is critical to realizing this vision. Indeed, during the Kampala CADAP Summit that was held in January this year, AU heads of state and government adopted the Kampala CADAP Declaration as well as the CADAP Strategy and Action Plan 2026-2035, which aim to build resilient and sustainable agri-food systems in Africa. As such, FSRP objectives are clearly aligned with CADAP's objectives and vision over the next 10 years. Before I end my remarks, I would like to propose that FSRP should support the domestication of the Kampala Declaration in national agri-food systems implementation plans in the 7 implementing countries and in other countries that intend to join the FSRP. I understand today we have ministers from countries that haven't yet joined, so we encourage those ministers to consider joining and participating in FSRP activities. This approach will encourage other donors and development partners to follow this approach of leveraging existing resources to support the domestication of the new CADAP agenda for implementation. This way, many countries can be supported in the first 2 years following the adoption of the Kampala Declaration this past January. I look forward to hearing the final conclusions and recommendations from this high-level learning event and to working together to achieve our shared goals. I also promise to share the outcomes from this event with the incoming Commissioner, His Excellency Moses Vilakati, who will be taking over this portfolio next week. Later this year, the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Blue Economy, and Sustainable Environment will be organizing the 6th ordinary session of the Specialized Technical Committee on Agriculture, Rural Development, Water and Environment. We intend to present the outcomes from this learning event to the ministers for their consideration. With these remarks, I thank you for your kind attention.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Stephen Anderson, one of the facilitators at this event. My core member of our facilitation team will be taking over for this event. We're really happy to be here. I will just have the pleasure of doing this introduction. First of all, Joshua Wathanga, welcome as part of our team. Femi Nguzal. No. I wrecked your name. Before I pass over, would like to do the introduction of the head of mission in Ethiopia for IGAD, Ato Ababao, Bahonian, no in the throat, Balachu. I hope I didn't ruin your name, sir. We're really pleased to you organize this all for us. We're very grateful. We're welcoming you. Please to give us your best good words, and then I'll pass the rest over to my colleagues.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure, a privilege to be here with you today. Excellency, Dr. Girma Amente, Minister for the Ministry of Agriculture of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Honorable Ibrahim Elmi Mohammed, Secretary General of the Ministry of Agriculture of Djibouti, Honorable Samuel Dalisto Kawale, Minister of Agriculture, Malawi, Mr. Ramindo Gatton, Secretary General, Chairman of the FSRP, Madagascar Steering Committee, representing His Excellency, the Minister of Agriculture and Livestock, Madagascar, Excellency Honorable Dr. Bright Kanyotre Rawa Mirama, I'm sorry for mispronouncing, State Minister, Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, the Republic of Uganda, Excellency Asad Abdurazik Mohammed, State Minister of Agriculture and Irrigation, the Federal Government of Somalia, His Excellency Asomani Mondaha, Ambassador to the AU and the Federal Republic of Ethiopia, Comoros, Honorable Fry Kwame Andre, Deputy Chief of Staff, representative of the Ministry of Agriculture, Cote d'Ivoire, and Excellency Ibrahim Tanimu, representative of the Ministry of Agriculture, Republic of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, dignitaries, representatives of member states of the African Union, regional economic communities, and others, all protocols observed. And it's my apology if I have missed anyone dignitary sitting here. My name is Abu Abdi, the guide head of mission to Ethiopia. It is an honor and privilege to be here with you again and deliver this remark on behalf of the IGAD Secretariat and its Executive Secretary, His Excellency Dr. Workneh Gabayo, and on my behalf. It is with a profound sense of pride that I would like to say congratulations for your deliberations and conclusion of the 3 days, the first high-level event on the Food Systems Resilience Program for the Eastern and Southern Africa regions, where you have shared experiences and I believe exchanged great ideas in those two and a half period. It is with this great endeavor, I would like to thank the World Bank for funding the program and specifically for organizing this event successfully, where the planning, I've been informed, has been going on for the last 5 months, and it is successfully executed. Thank you, the World Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to remind you that on day one, 3 days ago, this event intended to achieve the 3 days objectives of understanding the barriers to institutional learning within the World Bank funded agriculture projects in African Union member states, exploring strategies and tools to improve knowledge and capture, sharing and application of developing practical actions to foster continuous learning and knowledge application. Then on day two, day three, the event focused on the objectives of identifying key challenges in integrating digital technologies into African food systems, exploring practical solutions and opportunities for digital transformation, co-creating actionable strategies for scaling digital adoption and providing a clear understanding of what trade scorecards are and their potential impact, including sanitary and phytosanitary requirements of trade. I believe these 2 days were productive and the objective has been successfully achieved. In light of the above, and also in a bid to strengthen collaboration and linkage with all FSRP investments in Africa, this learning event has showcased what we can achieve more by working together and learning from each other. Ladies and gentlemen, considering the importance of cross-learning and sharing about the different technologies, practices, and experiences used in agriculture transformation, the outcomes of this event will help all of us to get something to share with our member states and farmers on the ground back home. Additionally, as IGAD, we commit the following and work with the countries and regions implementing FSRP and other related investments. 1, formation of an IGAD soil hub to centralize data, disseminate best practices, and foster research and to enhance regional soil health and agricultural resilience against climate change. 2, creating the platform for sharing innovative technologies and practices, as such as observation and digital technologies. 3, supporting the expansion of and improvement of application of irrigation technologies to mitigate the impacts of extreme weather events and erratic rainfall patterns, thereby enhancing agricultural productivity and strengthening food security. 4, promoting climate-smart agricultural digital technologies to improve agricultural productivity, market access, and climate resilience. With this, in closing, I would like to take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt gratitude and warmest greetings to the government and the people of Ethiopia for hosting this first learning event in this beautiful city of Addis Ababa. our capital, political capital of Africa. And also extend, once again, my warmest gratitude to the World Bank for supporting this process. I would also like to thank my colleagues in IGAD for co-hosting and coordinating this event. Our thanks also goes to the technical partners, experts from our member states, technical partners, and the rest of others. I would also like to thank the facilitators and other friends who've been here with us in making this event successful. I would also thank the African Union Commission for hosting us today, and Skylight Hotel, the Ethiopian Airlines, for hosting us the other 2.5 days. With these words, I would like to wish you to enjoy the rest of your days and hours in Addis, and travel safe home, respectively, where you came from. I thank you. Thank you very much.
A better appreciation to the head of nation of IGAD. Let's appreciate him again. So, honorable ministers, your excellencies, we now want to give opportunity to the representative from CARDESA to come and give us opening remarks. Representative of CARDESA, if, yes. Thank you. Does he need your encouragement? Okay, let's appreciate him.
Thank you, Program Director. Program Director, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture of Ethiopia, Honorable Ministers, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to stand on existing protocol. I am Professor Rasafinjar Alala, and I am the chairperson of CARDESA. You all know is a subsidiary body of SADC. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I am deeply honored to bring you all the warm greetings and well wishes from CARDESA. First of all, I want to thank the honorable ministers who have found time in their busy schedule to be with us today as we conclude what has been a very, very exciting 2 days of learning and exchange between FSRP implementing countries and sub-regions. Your presence here today means a lot to us. We feel very honored and encouraged at the same time, knowing that we have your support. As the learning event is still on course, we do expect to benefit from your wisdom, particularly on how we can do things better as a collective as we seek to improve food systems resilience in our beautiful continent. Program Director and honorable ministers, allow me to extend our sincere gratitude to the World Bank for their financial and technical support under FSRP. In the past 2 days, the learning event has enjoyed wide media coverage in all corners of the African continent. This on its own, and I believe will pave the way for extended sharing of FSRP knowledge products and create an appetite in countries that are yet to be part of the program. Program Director and honorable ministers, I wish to challenge all of us who have been part of this event since the first day that what we have discussed here should not be left here in Ethiopia. It would be a grave mistake if we take this event as just a talk show instead of a strategic well from which all of us could draw from to better implement our respective country and regional programs. We also need to find a way of following up on what has been agreed in this event. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as we come to the end of our learning event today, I want to express my sincere appreciation to all of the participants, speakers, and partners who have contributed to our discussions. Allow me, Program Director and Honorable Ministers, to thank the African Union for hosting us this afternoon. IGAD, CARDESA, the World Bank, and the government of Ethiopia for all the preparations made for the minister session today to be a success. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, with these few remarks, I would like to thank the honorable ministers again for their support and wish all of us fruitful deliberations and a successful session. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Muito obrigado. Asante sana.
Thank you very much, Professor Lala. Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, and representatives from the various countries, we now want to take the opportunity of setting the scene for this meeting with you, and we want to invite the representative from the World Bank, Floka Jogbuth, to come and address you.
Honorable Ministers, distinguished delegates, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. Good afternoon and welcome to this ministerial session of the first high-level learning event for the Food System Resilience Program for Eastern and Southern Africa. It is a great privilege to address such an esteemed gathering of leaders and decision makers. You all play a vital role in shaping the future of food security, sustainability, and resilience across nations in the region. I would also like to take this opportunity on behalf of the World Bank to thank and congratulate the Intergovernmental Authority of Development, the African Union Commission, and the Center for Coordination of Agriculture Research and Development for Southern Africa for the excellent organization for this first high-level learning event that, for the first time since the program started in 2022, brings together all FSRP stakeholders. This milestone event has created a valuable platform for collaboration, knowledge exchange, and strengthening our collective efforts towards food system resilience. I would also like to congratulate IGAD, AUC, and CARDESA, and all of the FSRP countries for forming a coordination committee for FSRP to provide strategic guidance, oversight, and alignment among key stakeholders to ensure the effective implementation of the program, and as we've discussed over the past 2 years, also on learning between each other. It's an honor to be here today to reflect on key issues highly relevant for the ongoing food system resilience program in Eastern and Southern Africa, and reflect on thinking ahead about the next phase of a similar program and what should be coming. Agriculture is more than just a sector in sub-Saharan Africa. It's the backbone of economies, supporting over 60% of the population and contributing significantly to GDP, with a lot of potential to further advance and be a leader for production and reduce reliance on food imports. Yet the investment environment for food systems is changing dramatically. We have seen radical realignment of international support for African agriculture just in the past months. Furthermore, Africa's national governments are operating on tight fiscal spaces. We need to recognize and adjust to these new realities. Part of this adjustment is to find ways for maximizing the leverage of lessons learned at national, regional, and continental levels. This week, we have explored a range of learning strategies. These require commitment and new ways of thinking. In this learning event, the FSRP stakeholders emphasized that agriculture must be part of digital transformation. Across the region, mobile-based platforms are revolutionizing access to market prices, weather forecasts, and extension services. Precision farming, digital technologies, among others, can optimize productivity and resource use. Agri-tech startups are flourishing, offering solutions from farm-to-market logistics to e-commerce for farmers. With targeted investment and support, we can support these innovations and bridge the gap between smallholder farmers and lucrative markets. We must engage in the process of learning and how to best utilize and adopt these technologies. In addition, expanding agriculture trade in sub-Saharan Africa is not only important, but also a clear priority. Understanding the possibilities for regional and international trade is a challenge that ministries of agriculture across the region face, as are the required engagement areas for expanding trade. Countries can and should learn from one another and to find additional ways to harmonize. The discussions held during this learning event are hopefully a useful starting point. Climate change poses a substantial threat to the resilience of African agriculture, but it also presents an opportunity for innovation and reassessing sector support. Scale-up of climate-smart agriculture, regenerative farming, sustainable water management, among other things, is critical. Governments alone cannot drive the transformation needed. Strong public-private partnerships are also needed to attract investments, modernize infrastructure, and ensure smallholder farmers have access to finance and markets. By creating enabling policies, reducing trade barriers, and investing in rural infrastructure, we can unlock the full potential of agriculture as a driver of economic growth. The first high-level learning event for Food System Resilience Program for Eastern and Southern Africa provides a unique platform for us to engage in a meaningful dialogue across these various issues, exchange knowledge and best practices, and forge stronger partnerships to promote food system resilience in the region. It is an opportunity to reflect on the progress we have made, identify gaps, and align policies to create a robust framework for food system resilience. This event is also an opportunity to collectively think ahead of how a potential next phase of a food system resilience program should be designed, building on the learning and successes and insights gained from this first high-level learning event and from the implementation of the FSRP program. The journey so far has reaffirmed the power of collaboration and continued learning among countries, regional bodies, and continental organizations in driving transformation and change in the region. We are committed to continue supporting this platform for investment, innovation, and action, ensuring that the African food systems are not only more resilient, but also more inclusive and sustainable. Together, we will harness the lessons learned, scale up impactful solutions to accelerate agriculture transformation and food security across the continent. I encourage us all to embrace forward-thinking approaches that integrate and promote food system resilience, that empower smallholder farmers, women, and youth. Strengthening resilience requires not just investment, but also policy coherence, continuous learning, cross-sector collaboration, and regional and international collaboration. As we embark on today's deliberations, let us do so with a shared sense of urgency and purpose. Let us work together to chart a course that will transform the region's food system into engines of resilience, prosperity, and sustainability. Once again, I extend my warmest welcome and look forward to the productive exchanges ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Honorable Ministers, Your Excellencies, we are so privileged to be here and for you to grace this occasion to come and share with us and listen to the learnings for these past 2.5 days. And before we share with you some of the very exciting takeaways from this event, let me acknowledge, if I may, the representative from Tanzania, Frank Mwega. Your Excellency Frank Mwega, if it is okay for you to just stand and for us to acknowledge you where you are seated. Let's appreciate him. Your Excellencies, as I mentioned, we've had a very exciting learning event here for our food systems resilience program. It is the first ever. And those 2.5 days, if we were to summarize them, we will keep you here for the rest of the evening, which we don't intend to. So with your permission, Your Excellencies, we'll ask one of us, Femi, to come and share with you some of the highlights of this event. You'll be given a handout so that you can follow what is being shared. And if I may just alert you that after the sharing, with your permission, we will be asking you to share with us just one of the things that would resonate with you in your country from the learnings of this event. And without further ado, Your Excellencies, Femi, if you could please come and share with us.
Honorable Ministers, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. Femi Zegu. It's my honor to present the summary of the key takeaways from the 3 days of discussions that were held on this high-level FSRP learning event. So we have 7 key takeaways to discuss with you. They are all summary form. The first one is about enhanced institutional and sector learning being critical for success. I'd like to also just stop a minute and say that these summary findings are the distilled conversation from the group during the learning event. So very much an inclusive activity of everybody contributing to what you now see before you. So the first one on enhanced institutional and sector learning being critical for success. The 3 key points to make under that. The first one is that clearly effective systems and processes for capturing, sharing, and applying lessons are key to advancing agricultural investment. Interconnected learning at the country, the regional, and the continental level will enable best practice to be identified and scaled up. And that incentivizing learning alongside the support for continuous capacity strengthening will in itself foster the environment in which learning is highly valued and intentionally sought after. So our overarching enhanced institutional and sector learning being critical for success is predicated on these 3, at least these 3 elements of effective systems, interconnected learning, and then incentivizing learning, so that learning is not a chore, but it's something that's actually sought after and its value recognized. The second one is on policy implementation and standardization as underpinning sustainable program implementation. And so the 3 points that we highlight there, very much around consistent, harmonized, implemented, reviewed updated policies based on emerging learning. So this is a dynamic situation. Create an inclusive environment to realize greater returns on agricultural investment. So very much a conversation around the need for harmonized and reviewed and updated policies being a continuous activity that is required. Standardization also of processes and frameworks facilitates coordinated regional learning and makes monitoring outcomes and impacts effective. So the standardization makes it easy to be able to answer the question, so what? What has this resulted in? The work, the investments, and all the labor that's gone into it. It enables that. And then embedding learning in project design and aligning monitoring, evaluation, and learning systems across countries allows for this continuous review. It allows for sustainability, and it also allows for comparability of learning, and provide projects with an overview of their successes, the lessons that they're learning, and any long-term outcomes that are happening. So you're looking for standardization across countries to be able to compare, to be able to support one another, and you're looking for, again, a consistency around policies that are harmonized and are supporting and enabling a much more inclusive environment to understand and to realize the gains that are occurring from these investments. So that was number 2 on policy. Number 3 speaks to collaboration and stakeholder engagement as driving impact. And here WILOAN has a role to play, and each contribution maximizes the total effort, strengthens the activity, strengthens programs, makes them more efficient, and also therefore more effective. And so that coordination and that really complementarity of activity is so key to enabling and driving impact. Similarly, joint action plans and cross-learning platforms, again, enhance knowledge generation, knowledge sharing, and mutual accountability. So we're constantly looking for ways to learn and methods to exchange learning and embed learning in our processes, and enable the really good practice that is coming out of the work to be more available, not only to the programs or the projects or the countries within the FSR project itself, but much more widely. And then finally, inclusive engagement builds trust and leverage. And trust and leverage, obviously, is in this business is key, and in any business in life is key, but particularly in engaging the diverse stakeholders that agriculture does. So moving on to number 4, this is about digital transformation as being really central to really enabling food systems resilience. So digital tools such as farmer registration systems, real-time advisory services, improved decision-making, all of those ensure synergy and interoperability. And this was a distinct finding of the event. Similarly, investments in digital infrastructure, capacity strengthening in this area, public-private partnerships are essential to bridge current gaps in digital transformation. These are the elements and essentially the mechanisms for enabling that to happen. And then a clear digital roadmap and supportive policy framework ensures that there's scalability of technology in terms of its adoption, and there's sustainability of it, because there's a framework that people are working to, engaged with, and committed to. So again, we focused on, this is such a key area of work, so how do we overcome the barriers to digital adoption that's required? And again, these are some of the issues that were highlighted. High costs, obviously, clear to everyone here, limited technical capacity, low digital literacy, all significant challenges. However, in terms of practical solutions, we could see prioritized budgeting for this area, standardized data collection, and then continuous education of end users. And not just on the value of digital and digitization and using digital tools, but also on educating them on the safe and effective use of it was a key issue that arose. And then finally, again, the issue of trust emerges. Building trust through transparent communication and tangible benefits obviously is important for the farmer, for other stakeholders buy-in, and that is also related to, obviously, to the digital adoption and its efficacy and the willingness to adopt that. So transparent communication being a big issue. Number 6, we looked at addressing SPS challenges being essential for trade integration. And of course, compliance with phytosanitary standards is critical to avoid export rejections and economic losses. Themes that obviously were quite prominent in our conversations over the last 2.5 days. Immediate measures to address that were identified as early pest detection, enforcing residue limits, and strengthening pre-export checks. And then the long-term strategies were around requiring stakeholder collaboration, harmonized policy frameworks. Again, harmonization of policy frameworks, agreeing to the standard, and letting it be fed by emerging learning, evolved again, it was very much a feature of conversation. Again, ongoing capacity strengthening and the implementation of SPS measures. All were seen as strategies to be able to address the challenges that were identified over the course of the event. And then finally, pathways to action. We didn't want to leave with just a summary of the findings. We're very much committed that there's a pathway to actions that will follow this event. And the first one is about having clear guidance and plans that define the implementation framework and actions to advance the findings and the recommendations of this event. So yes, a report will be produced and circulated, but within it we want very clear guidelines and plans that can drive the recommendations forward. And obviously identified that political will, demonstrated very clearly by the distinguished audience we have today, the honorable ministers. Political will is crucial. Financial support is crucial from government. It's fundamental to the successful implementation of the recommendations from this event. And then finally, clearly identifying and fully embracing roles, whether that's at the national or regional level, and the responsibilities by key stakeholders will be pivotal to the successful learning in FSRP. So, thank you very much. With that, I hand over back to Joshua.
Thank you. Honorable Ministers, Your Excellencies, excuse us for a bit of informality. The subject matter and the people in front of you are the directors and officers of agriculture in your countries. So we must admit we are not so used to the formalities. So if you see us doing things that are not usually done in this place, please understand, and we ask for your forgiveness. So that's the first thing I want to say. The second thing to say, if I may, is that we want to get into a session where I know it's probably not what happens in these halls, but we want to have a conversation with you if you can permit us. So if you can permit that informality,
I will put some questions to you, if I may, on behalf of these participants from this learning event, so that we can benefit from your wisdom, your knowledge, your experience of what you're doing in your respective countries. And the final thing to say before I get on to this conversation is that we apologize. We started a lot later than we should have, and many, all of you were waiting for us to assemble. We know that is another sign of informality on our part, and we ask for your forgiveness. And for that reason, we will have a brief time together. We'll try and still keep to the time that we had requested you. And if I may, when I put a question to you, if you can answer in no more than 2 to 3 minutes, that would be helpful so that we can hear all of you in this conversation. And if it is okay with you, if it goes beyond 3 minutes, if you allow us, we know we are making lots of mistakes. We will ask one of our bearded officers here to stand, and that could be a sign that Your Excellency, that will be a time to move to the next person. So if that is okay, I want to get started. And if I may start with Honorable Minister of Agriculture for Malawi, Honorable Samuel Kawale, and I'll come to each of the Honorable Ministers and representatives. Based on that summary output of a learning event, I wonder what resonates with you most from your context in Malawi? If you can share with us briefly.
Well, thank you very much, moderator. First of all, let me say thank you to the host country, but also AU for welcoming us, but also the World Bank for making it possible for us to meet, and also everything that is happening in our countries. It was very fascinating to go through the summary of the 7 key takeaways of what happened over the last 3 days. For us in Malawi, I think what stood out the most were 2 things. Firstly, the issue of digitalization in agriculture. We find that to be extremely important for us to develop the agriculture sector to be where we want it to be. And that's why, as a country, we've managed to do a little bit of background work, learn from others, for us to come up with a system that is transitioning farmers from just verbal communication extension services and also implementation of agriculture practices to make it more digital. So now, we as a country, we can proudly say we know who our farmers are and where to find them because of the digitalization aspect. But also, second of all, we are thriving because we're able to collaborate with others. And I'm very happy that is one of the 7 key takeaways. We can't succeed in isolation. We need to engage stakeholders everywhere. That's why we are so proactive whenever we're invited to attend meetings like these ones. We're always there because we know we're going to learn more and we'll make great progress. So those 2 things are important for us from the 3 days, digitalization, but also collaboration and engagement across the region.
Wonderful. Let's appreciate Honorable Minister. Let me go to Madagascar. Honorable Representative Ramindo Getan, if I could put the same question to you, what resonated most to you?
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much. I want to thank the country that hosted us, Ethiopia, and thank you for the World Bank and the African Union, and for all of us for this event that was remarkable. In Madagascar, it is the FSRP that is important for us. It is part of the most important programs in Madagascar. especially through the food distribution school buying, which is